We must have that good news. I mean, possessing it in the heart, not just in a book. If we are going to be saved by the saving power of God, which is the gospel, Romans 1:16, I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God unto salvation. If we'll be saved by that power of God unto salvation, then that power of God must only save us when it is in us. I put it differently. If you will gain any nutrients from any nice vegetarian meal, that meal must be in you. Any food, however nice and having sweet aroma it might be, merely lying on the table is useless to your health. If we are to gain any nutrients, spiritual nutrients, which gives no obesity, by the word of God, then that word of God must be in our hearts. We must possess the gospel. Listen to Ellen White once again, Ministry of Healing 469, paragraph 3. The gospel, or the good news we present for the saving of souls, must be the gospel by which our own souls are saved. If you know of some good Jesus, so powerful to save men from sin, and he has not saved you, never recommend that Jesus Christ to someone else. Keep him for yourself. The only Christ we should present to the world is that Christ who has saved us. So this angel, he possesses, he has the everlasting good news. And the good news must be preached, because it's telling us, having the everlasting gospel, which is the good news, to preach. So he possesses it, he must also take it. Could it be that the reason is why we have not reached men and women with the everlasting gospel? Could it be that we don't have it? Because those who have Christ must give out Christ. I'm saying differently. Christ, the joy of Christ is in him being shared. Any man or woman, in the book called Christian Service, page 9, paragraph 6, Ellen White saying that he who drinks of the fountain of, he who drinks of the living waters becomes the fountain of life. The receiver becomes the giver. And so I say again, if we have the goodness of the saving grace of God, then we must give it out. I ask a question again. Have you ever drawn someone to Christ? If no, that means Christ is not part of us, or part of you, or part of me. The joy of Christ is in him being shared with a perishing world. Good news, the gospel is good news. Let's go to Romans chapter 10. Look at verse 15. Romans 10, 15. Are you there? Shout amen if you find it. Did you find Romans 10, 17? No, 10, 15. Are you living or is existing? Okay, Romans 10, 15. How shall they preach? Remember that angel is preaching. Are you getting it? So the question is asked, how shall they preach except they be sent? So when you remember Revelation 14, that means that angel has been sent. Because Paul is telling us by the Spirit of God, of course, how shall they preach except or unless they be sent? That angel must have been sent. And is faithful to the one who has sent him. Remember that angel is possessing the everlasting gospel. Look at that. Read on. As it is written. Romans 10, 15. By the way, did I tell you yesterday that what is written should be read? Did I tell you that yesterday? It's just telling us, how shall they preach except they be sent, as it is written? Paul is quoting Isaiah 52, verse 7. Now, what God has written, I say it again, it is for you, for me to read it. God is dishonored when he sends you a note by the writing of his word, and you fail to read it. We are living in a generation whereby Adventists, professedly called, can read anything, every book, except the book. We can read. I was preaching some college, not far from here, but still in the same planet, and someone asked me a question that, Pastor, is there a problem with marriage evangelism? Elder Nimrod will talk of that. But he asked me, is there a problem with the marriage evangelism? Then I asked him, what do you mean? Then he told me, you see, Joyce Meyers, is there a living person called that way? Yes, writes in one of his books, is it he or her? Or one of her books about marriage evangelism, that means marry them and convert them. Now, I got surprised. And Adventists have got a lot of time to read such kind of books, but has never read Letters to Young Lovers. Because I'm sure if that individual had ever read Letters to Young Lovers, Adventist Home Education, no such question would have come out of its lips. You know, the Bible is telling us, Matthew 12, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. That question was not from the lips, it was from the heart. I say again, what God has written for us as a people, his desire was that what he has written should be read by his people. You know, I'm digressing a lot, but Matthew 5:16 says, ye are the light of the world. Did you ever read that verse? What is saying? Ye are the light of the... Let me tell you something which need to shock you. Okay. This book, this Bible, is not the light of the world. Because the world will not read it. God desires, he makes you the light of the world. You have this, then the world reads you. Oh. Okay, let me give you time to swallow what I said. I know it's difficult. God is not telling the disciple that day, the Bible is the light of the world. He was addressing his people. Are you getting it? The Bible is the light of the church. Then the church having the Bible in them is to be the light of the world. Because the world will not read this. The world will read you. That's what Paul is talking of in 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 3. Ye are our epistles, written and read of men. Are you getting it? He's not saying they'll read your Bible. They need to read you, to read me. I say again, this is the light in the church, of the church. But the church, we seated or standing here, are the light to the world. So whatever God has placed in writing is for his people to read. If those books you see on table and the Bible were printed for Babylonians, God would have sent them to Babylon churches. But God has brought them here. You read, then go and preach to Babylonians. I wonder, I get marveled, how come we can read everything, but not the word of God, not inspiration? Back to Romans 10:13, no 15, sorry. As it is written, read that text for me now. As it is written, as it is written, I said what is written should be read. Read it. As it is written. Okay, I'm too hard on you. Okay. As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of them that bring the gospel of peace.